365 Click Dimensions. Please welcome Jill Walker.
So, everyone here is in marketing. It is now 2019, or as of the beginning of this week, it is financial year 2020. So what do you expect from your marketing automation today in 2019 or FY 2020?
It doesn't crash and it's fast.
Okay, so it doesn't crash and it's fast. I think we sort of take that as read. What else do people want from marketing automation? Okay, nothing. I shall move on, because given that it would appear that we want nothing from our marketing automation, I can't fail, because I'm going to give you more than that.
We want our emails to get through servers and reach people without going to the spam filter.
Hold that thought. We're coming to that later on.
It's not a planned question, is it?
Oh no, it's my problem I'm dealing with.
I've possibly got a solution to you. 16 or so years ago, when Microsoft CRM was first launched, this is what it looked like.
Oh my god.
And it didn't have any marketing. If you look along the bottom, and we've got some highlights showing you what there is, there was no marketing at all.
Wow.
What Microsoft were focusing on is the customer, or maybe the late stage prospect. But it was called CRM, Customer Relationship Management, and oh boy, was it customer focused. All we had was this little bit down at the bottom of the funnel. But as anybody who has not been under a rock for the past however long knows, this magnet here that is drawing all of those suspects and converting some of them, the ones that don't leak out, into customers, this magnet here has to work extremely hard in order to do what it's paid, quote unquote, to do. What we've got here is the funnel, starting from the top, where we've got people who, 2 arms, 2 legs, they breathe occasionally. They're probably not too much more differentiated than that. And down at the bottom, we have got customers, those who have already reached into their back pocket and parted with some hard-earned cash. Getting from that from top to bottom, we work through raw leads or suspects. They're a little bit more differentiated than people that know how to take a breath, but not much. Into, we've done a little bit of research, they're now viable leads or prospects, or now we've got nurtured leads. These are people where we know at least a name and an email address. They've expressed some direct interest. The fact that we've got a name and an email address is showing that they've obviously handed over that name and email address, probably in return for a white paper or maybe a survey or a checklist. You have provided something of value, but it's going to be small value. We're not making millions of dollars out of these people. We further narrow them down to active leads. Then they're down to what we call marketing qualified leads, or MQLs. These are people that are seriously sitting on the fence. and we've got a decent chance of doing something with them in the time. We're now into the yellow part of the funnel, where we've got sales qualified leads. So this is where the sales department takes over from marketing. And then we move through to opportunities and customers or clients. Now, marketing automation helps you with this top 2/3, not the very top, because it doesn't really help with that absolute top chunk of the funnel, but it does help from just below there all the way down to where we can hand over to sales. And if we have a thorough marketing automation product and process, when we hand them over to sales, we will avoid this problem of marketing never give us good leads, and so sales saying marketing never give us good leads, and marketing saying sales never bother following up, and the whole he said, she said type argument that is amazingly common. What marketing automation is effectively brand awareness. How can we make them out there aware that we exist and are possibly a solution to a problem? And then within that segment of people, how can we generate some interest and get them to be considering our product? Consideration is probably as far as marketing automation will take you. Beyond that, we've got a pretty decent hot lead, hot prospect, and its sales job. As I said, Microsoft CRM, now called Microsoft Dynamics 365, has evolved over the past 16 years, but it is still relatively light on the marketing side. And one of the strongest ways of bridging that gap from warm bodies through to keeping sales happy is a product called Click Dimensions. And Click Dimensions is marketing automation, and it is dedicated to Dynamics 365. So it's not worth even considering unless you are also using Microsoft Dynamics 365. It doesn't work. So for those of you who have seen Microsoft Dynamics 365, this is what it looks like without Click Dimensions or one of the other add-ons already installed. In other words, very little marketing. In fact, all there is marketing lists and campaigns. So all of that is focused on marketing qualified lead and down. When we install Click Dimensions on top of Dynamics 365, we get all of this functionality as well. And I'm going to go through the top level functionality in the remainder of the time here. But I'm sure you will agree there is a lot of functionality on this slide that wasn't there a moment ago. So that is what you get when you, or some of what you get when you install Click Dimensions on top of Dynamics 365. And as with everyone, we don't offer steak knives, but what we do offer is even more stuff than we had on the previous slide. So lots and lots and lots of functionality that if that's Dynamics 365, you've sales, service and a little bit of marketing, that is Click Dimensions on top of it. And we've got functionality that works right the way through that early stage of the sales process to take these people and work on them. So we've got the ability to monitor one or several websites, know who is visiting your website, initially only by IP address, but that's the only information that you've got at that very early stage of the cycle. And down to the level of what pages are they viewing and how long are they spending on each page. We've also got the ability to have forms, so that comes a little bit later. They've read enough stuff around the website to start to get interested, and now they fill in a form to download something or other, and they give you that hard-won email, maybe also phone number and or name, as Ross was talking about. So they pay a little bit in order to get some more value from you. We also have the ability to send emails once, of course, we've got the email address from the form. Separately, assuming we get a phone number, Click Dimensions gives us the ability to send SMS messages. And we can do surveys. We can also run events. Typically these are online events, but you can also use the functionality for face-to-face events, and gives you a lot of analytics around who did you invite, who's accepted, who came, yada, yada, yada. We can also do our social media postings and track the response to those postings. And all of the information resulting from this lot gets put back into the same database as the rest of your CRM and gives you that 360-degree view of the customer. So not only the phone calls and so on that sales have been making, but all of the information that I've just discussed. So there we have the awareness raising components. Then we've got the consideration raising components, and both the emails and the SMSs can be personalized, and personalized by pulling data, any data that you want from elsewhere in the CRM database. So this avoids the problem that we get in a lot of businesses where we've got a CRM solution over here doing whatever that particular CRM solution is doing, and it may be doing it well, it may not, I don't know. All I'm saying is it's a CRM solution. Then over here, we've got an independent marketing automation product. But we haven't got that bridge, and that means that we've got all of this rich information about products that they've bought, maybe cases that the organisation has raised about issues they've had with the organisation, and none of that can be used readily by the marketing automation team. When we've got an integrated marketing automation, such as Click Dimensions, and in fairness, Click Dimensions is not the only tool that does this, but it is one. We can pull that data, so the SMS certainly doesn't say dear valued customer, but it also goes beyond dear first name, and it can reference a case or a product or a whole heap of other stuff if the information is there. Click Dimensions also gives us the ability to do what are called campaign automations. So there we've got some triggers. This particular case, it's inviting somebody to an event or adding them to a marketing list. And doing that then kicks off this whole flow, including branching. So we send out an event email here, then that's inviting them to the summer fruit harvest event. If they RSVP yes, we go down this track. If they RSVP no, they go into this campaign. And further down, if they actually come to the event, they get this chain of follow-up, thank you, whatever it is, emails. If they don't show, they get a different set of emails. There is no manual work required in this beyond here after we've set it up. So once it's set up, it really is set and forget. The rest, all of those emails will just happen on cue. And there's a lot of stuff that we can do within those campaign automations. So who benefits from marketing automation? The answer is almost every industry, whether you're B2B, as most of us are, or B2C. So this is an example of sporting associations. There are umpteen of these already using Dynamics 365. Memberships. Memberships are notoriously difficult to keep on top of who's a current member, who's paid, who's attended whatever event, and so on and so forth. Banks and finance, they love the automation. Education organisations, Stuart's left us unfortunately, but I'm aware of several education institutes that use Click Dimensions and this functionality. Retail, loads and loads of areas where you can be aware of where people are, what they're doing, what they're looking at, and send them a targeted invitation coupon for a product right now. And all of that can be automated. So what do we have? We've got landing pages, we've got web forms, surveys, web intelligence, social marketing. We've got event management, so those online events. All of that is generating information which can lead into web scoring. So most people only have a limited budget for their marketing department. Within that limited budget, who are the good leads to spend your money on? The answer to that is being able to do lead scoring. Click Dimensions has a very flexible lead scoring, so you work out what's important to you and score accordingly. We've got email and SMS communication, all personalised. Campaign automation, which I've discussed earlier, that's the set and forget. We've also got very, very powerful reporting, and not just marketing reporting, but because it is all in the same database as the rest of the CRM data, you can get reporting that is both marketing anywhere within the blue part of that funnel, right the way through to existing and repeat customers. That data can be pulled together and reported on. So benefits of Click Dimensions. First of all, it is dedicated to Dynamics 365. That is both good and bad. It's fantastic if you are a Dynamics 365 user. Of course, if you're not a Dynamics 365 user, it means you don't even need to consider the tool. The real plus side is that they have really worked on making the two sit hand in glove. You do not need to maintain a separate database. In fact, Click Dimensions doesn't even have a database sitting underneath it. It sits on top of the Dynamics 365 database and leverages it. It also means that there is some functionality, the biggest example being marketing lists, that it doesn't have. Now, can you imagine a marketing automation tool that doesn't have marketing lists? But it doesn't need marketing lists because Dynamics 365 has extremely powerful marketing lists and ClickDimensions can use them. It has a massive breadth of functionality. What I've done today in the few minutes that I've got is very much a skate over the surface, but it is a broad base of functionality, all of which is highly configurable to suit you and your business, whether you are B2B or B2C. It really doesn't matter. It will work well for both of those. Although many of you will not have heard of it, that's not because it's a brand new product, and it's not because it's only got 2 customers. It's been in existence since at least 2011, which in the software terms is quite a long time. And there are well over 4,000 organisations using ClickDimensions and over 600 partners. So partners are people like me who have done exams, got additional skills, not just sold the product, but got skill in the product who can then help with the implementation and the management. It is also amazingly good value. When you look at that breadth of functionality, yes, it costs more than MailChimp and so on and so forth, but MailChimp sends out emails. That's 1 out of about 12 of the lumps of functionality. I don't think it's 12 times the cost of a paying subscription for MailChimp. As I said, I am certified. If you want to learn more about ClickDimensions and how it might help you, that is one of my ebooks which you can download from that URL, and I understand that Ross will be sending these slides out later on, so you will get that URL. Or you might have noticed on the table, I've put these Stay Connected. Feel free to fill in one of those and either give it back to me or send it back to me if that is easier. Or of course, reach out, write to me. I would love to stay in touch, and I will now hand back to Ross.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Before you sit down, there's maybe some questions that we have.